What's up, everybody? This is an impromptu chat here today, because I'm a little pissed off. So, rather than do a video and a rant video, I decided to just chat with the boys and start talking about, first of all, this Commieforina bullshit, right? And then a little bit of a continuation on G's chat from last night, the Ebola chat, because I didn't actually get a chance to get in. I had too much shit going on last night. So, hey, what's up, Breeze? Breeze got a chance to join us before he's got to go to work, because Breeze has been working most nights these days. So, what's up, everybody? This is impromptu. Yeah, I'm gonna shut myself up there. Chat here today. All right. Anyway, so what do y'all think about this thing about Commieforina now saying that just about any kind of accusation against a gun owner, they're going to be able to come in and take your guns, right? Your family can call up and say, oh, he's acting stressed and angry, he's going to shoot somebody up, or he's got guns and he's acting stressed and angry.
Yeah, he's got a normal life, and there's ups and downs in his life, so he's can't be trusted with the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, or she, or whoever, right? And according to what I had read, they're going to be able to do it without really a search warrant. Well, by going to court and getting this order of protection or restricted gun restriction, I don't even know what the fuck they're going to call it. But they're going to be able to go in, take people's guns for like fucking 30 days. And
wow.
then you get a hearing and an evaluation on whether you should be able to get your guns back.
Okay, well, I can speak on this on many levels. As many of you know, I'm from California.
Commieforina. We need to stop using Cali. Yeah. It's commie.
Well, that's racist to Russia. But anyway, I posted a little ditty over there on Liberty and Firearms Social Club that shows you the majority of the states already have a list. So I think to catch people up to speed, they should probably check out that article, and because they're going to be people like, well, I don't have anything to hide, I don't care, and it's the same song and dance, which is not the case.
Yeah,
doesn't matter if you are somebody of interest, they're going to make it. So they talk to your neighbors, your family, your friends, your coworkers, whatever the case may be.
Well, you got to think about that. Yesterday was my father-in-law house, and he's Vietnam. It's a Vietnam veterans and everything, and he bought recently a gun after 40 years, because it always been kind of traumatic for them, go back and use that stuff. Anyway, and they were asking him, and he told me that one of the VA guys in charge of the VA center was asking, hey, do any of you guys have a gun at home? And my father-in-law is like, why? I don't think it's your business if I have one. You know what I mean? No, you gotta be careful and blah 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 blah. So they're trying to sell them, a bunch of bullshit. I'm like, and I told him as soon as he told me that, I'm like, hey, you gotta be careful. The first people that are gonna take guns are probably veterans, because
Absolutely. Well, most rational people would say, well, we're going to look at the types of medications that you're on and then determine if you're mentally stable enough to have a firearm.
Yep.
But, if you think about it, for the amount of people who are on psychotropic prescription drugs and the amount of gun-related violence with those individuals, it's minuscule.
Yep.
Well, just think of what they are going to do to the vets, right? Every vet they consider these days has some kind of PTSD, right?
Yep.
So that's going to be enough for them to be able to take your guns just on spec, in California, the way they're fucking acting, So, they're going to be able to come out and just go straight off the bat, hey, you saw all kinds of crazy shit, you're just back from a war, you can't have any firearms because you're fucking nuts, right?
Yeah, and plus I was talking with him, he's having, nightmares every time, dreaming, wake up, say a couple of times, try to choke in, wife or But anyway, and it's telling me, me compared to older guys, they're fighting nowadays war like kids. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Iraq or Afghanistan nowadays. They go for 4 turns over there, and it was telling me they're really screw up. I mean, they got serious problem. I mean, not problem that like crazy people. It's understandable, you know. It's stress, you know, post-combat stress. You know what I mean? It's not easy, you know. Even if you see what you see over there, I think you come back a little bit different. You know what I mean? And you know, I think it's normal. But then again, from that to sell it, the fact that you can't own a gun is it's totally different story. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of bullshit. You know how many people are taking prescription medical stuff because the family doctor prescribed them, you know, pills for everything, antidepressant stuff. They give stuff to young kids because they are hyperactive. And I keep telling them you should just cut the sugars probably, and it might help a little bit.
You're coming off like a genius. Yeah,
All
no
right.
doubt.
Fuck,
No
I'm like-
doubt. Why don't you, before you start passing out prescription pills to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, why don't you take a look at your environment? You know, what you put inside your body, how much sleep you get, how much exercise. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you're right. You know, that's a problem nowadays. You know, the people tend to get stressed out. You know what I mean? I rarely get mad to someone. I got a discussion with my co-worker, totally an asshole, Democrat, of course. You know, kind of, medium average Obama voter with money. You know. Anyway, you know, it's like complaining about my tattoos first of all, and second, they give me a bad look about the fact I have a rifle tattoo, a K tattoo. I'm like, all right, never mind. And then it's being rude in general, and a discussion to him. I'm like, see, I'm a quiet person, but there's some people that are gonna probably freak out. I got people that come at the store, ladies, they freak out. You know, they panic because they can't find something inside the store. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, right? I mean, all right, I'm looking at them like no pressure. Like I got the Spanish attitude, you know. Yeah, whatever.
yeah, don't sweat the small stuff, lady.
Yeah. But you know, lady the people are, let's put it this way, they get a little bit too crazy. But as I was saying, you know what I mean? It's an understandable. In Europe, they are trying to do the same, but not really yet. Give you antidepressive if you try to suicide, you kill yourself. You know what I mean? That's maybe understandable, you know, in that case. But for kids, that's no freaking way. My Prozac stuff or whatever they call them, that was my backyard. You know, that's what my grandfather used to do: send me outside and play soccer from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 8 p.m. You know what I mean? 8 hours straight. It was a nice.
Yeah, nowadays here in America, if you send your kid outside and you're not standing out there hovering over them like a hawk, you know, there's people that want to put you in jail. They call the law for that. So can you imagine with this Commieforina crap, where anybody can get anybody else's guns taken away just at the drop of a hat, just an accusation? We're not even guilty. You know, they don't even have to prove guilt these days to do anything. You just need to be accused.
Yeah. And then the plus is weird, you know. They ask in school, and I heard about some teacher have been asking the kid if they own them. The parents have gun at home, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. What's up, Kev?
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Good to see you all.
Good to see you too, man. Have you read the news on what Jerry Brown just signed in California?
Yeah, dude, it's nuts. It's some bullshit right there. That's some bull. I would move if I lived in that state. Seriously, I can't imagine staying there and calling yourself a gun owner. I would get the fuck out of there so fast. That's crazy, man. Think about all the stories of, like, just jaded lovers and shit. I mean, there's crazy fucking trailer bitches everywhere that's gonna just call in every single dude that does them wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, not just that, and think about every vet in the fucking state.
Yep.
You know, every single veteran in the state, male, woman, whatever, right? They're going to be able to accuse you of having PTSD, and that's it. That's all the justification they're going to need to be able to get some kind of snatch and grab order, which is basically what it is, right, to come in and take your guns.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I mean, it's so unconstitutional, it's not even funny. But now, like, like when you're getting pulled over at the side of the road, oh, we got to deal with it in court. We can't deal with it on the side of the road. You know?
Yeah. Well, see, the problem is that now, it's so crazy. Think about the veteran stuff. I mean, again, like I was saying, my father-in-law is probably, how old is it? Like probably 70? I don't know, 60? I don't know. Anyway, he was old when he went to Vietnam. He was like 22, so 90, 69, 90. Yeah, it's probably. Anyway, I mean, the more I'm talking with him, it's totally pissed about whatever is going on, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking about it, I'm really hoping that all the other veterans think the same way. Because I don't think he's that old for he quit, you know what I mean? A good fighter doesn't have a age, They can even be 70 or 80, they can still hold a rifle or something, useful for something, Or even support you, logistically speaking. You know what I mean? If you say in a combat situation, if you find somebody can hostel or hide you in their houses, that's already a win-win, you know what I mean? Especially in a rural scenario, you know what I mean? You got a secondary location where you can hide, or But let me think about it. There's a bunch of I got a bunch of veterans that work with me, and most of them are really, really pissed about all the, situation.
Right.
I guess that's a good thing. Means there might be some people waking up.
Well, you hope so, but it's too late. It's too late for California. If you haven't woken up already, and if you weren't out fucking arguing about this shit or paying attention to that bill and getting people out there to fucking fight against it, we've already lost that war. Now it's in court for fucking other people to decide. It's out of the people's hands, right? Judges don't listen to the people.
Yeah.
Right? So now we have to go at it as a constitutional fight. Right? Because they don't have the right to come into your house and just snatch shit around on somebody else's accusation. That's against so many motherfucking, shit in the Bill of Rights and in our laws that it's ridiculous, but that didn't stop them from signing that law yesterday. It didn't stop Jerry Brown from going, oh yeah, this is great, and hugging some old lady whose kid got killed by somebody else. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Okay? And all this shit comes down from that clown that killed 3 people with guns and fucking 3 people with knives and hit a few with cars.
Yeah.
Here's a look at cost prices. This is what FFLs are paying for these guns right now from a big distributor.
Wow.
Wow, they don't make much, do they?
They don't make much. People don't realize you're talking 10%. Again, you could beat someone up and get a Glock 42 for $400 right now, $425. They're making $50.
Right.
Why do you think I don't have an FFL?
Yeah, you and me both. I decided a long time ago. Last thing I'm gonna do is bitch and moan and have people beat me up because the Slick Guns has something for whatever. Yeah, every time I'm in Gun World, dude, it's in and out. People are in and out of the office asking the owner what they can do better on this price or what can they do on that, or it's sad.
It's not the price of the gun. It's the service and the discounts and the ammo and all the other things that go along with the gun purchase if you're going to buy from a retailer.
Which mags you talking about, dude? The AK ones?
Yeah.
We're live too, Kev. Just so you know.
Oh well, shit! I didn't know that.
I kind of thought you didn't there, so that's why I stopped you.
I'm sorry.
I was keeping it in the side chat.
Well, no, I'm revealing costs of guns. I didn't realize we were online. Sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I went live because this Commieforina thing really fucking pisses me off.
No worries.
Just talking to you guys about it is all cool and shit, but I do own the damn dragon, so I got to get some content.
Yeah, you got to remember.
No, dude, the bottom line is just keep in mind, and the reason I was sharing that with you guys was just to show everyone it's tough out there right now for a gun store to stay in business. You should support your locals,
Absolutely.
On some things I can, but other things I just can't afford, man. Some of
let this guy in here.
Right? But some of their markups are like extraordinary, man. I'll go there for certain things. Though.
I think a lot of times there's a strategy amongst gun stores like that, and again, if I ran it, I'd probably have the same strategy. There's certain things that you have to price competitive to the market, And there's other stuff that if people come in and they're unaware of what they could do if they really hunted and pecked and look, you put a price on it. If it sells, it sells. Like right now, I saw a KSG at a local store today. 1,100. To me, that's way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if you do your research, you can usually, let them know that, hey, I know what the market value is. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm not paying that. And then you can get it in a more reasonable price where, if you don't do your research, people are going to rip you off for everything, from a car to a gun to a whatever. They're going to get what they can out of it.
Yeah.
What it comes down to is how much are you willing to pay more to support your local businesses, right? That's how you got to look at it. What is it worth to you to, instead of going on the internet getting it for the cheapest price possible known to man?
20% more than what I can find it online.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
If it's 50%, or sometimes I've seen things are double.
I've seen 600% markups,
Yeah.
and I laughed and I said, "Oh, okay, then you won't be selling that, I guess."
Yeah.
But the point being is, I think most of us realize if we don't support our local businesses, then we're not going to have that option.
I'm also a big fan of instant gratification, so that 20% is worth it to me than waiting 3 or 4, sometimes 2 weeks for something to arrive by mail.
You're a little old for instant gratification, aren't you?
Yeah.
But anyway, it's like my FF guy, and when I was over, you gotta think about, okay, here in Cook you gotta pay, of course, the taxes on your gun, and you gotta pay $25. There's a fee for the crime, whatever tax. Anyway, the time you add that, you add the taxes that are really high over here in Cook, and everything. When you go buy a rifle in a Cabela, you end up, it's like, I don't know, the pop end up being like $599. You know what I mean? Crazy, but the problem is, at the same time, nobody was carrying the pop over here because most of the FFL, they don't have that kind of market. So you gotta order it, you gotta ship it, you gotta pay the $30 of transfer. You know what I mean? So,
I do like buying guns in general at a gun store. I don't like dealing with that whole transfer crap.
Yeah, that's a problem. But then again, I was looking at the price of my guys. Normally, it's like for a regular M gun, size M gun, probably $50. It's making probably $50 over. It's not terrible, you know what I mean? It's I guess it's normal, the shipping, the transfer, you know what I mean?
Well, do the math on that real quick. How many guns do you think they sell in a day?
Probably a lot right now with the concealed carry permit over here. They've been selling a bunch of M guns. I mean, a lot of them.
But even still, that's not true always, right? Last couple of years have been kind of a boom time for, you're going to hear FFLs talking about it in the future on what a great time it was every time they said scare on a gun, people went out and bought.
Yeah.
All those Saiegas they still had in stock when the ban went into place, and they charged almost double what they were going for originally. Yeah.
He has, I think he has, what he has? He has a Saega, I think his body is in 5.45, I think.
But there's a local guy I go to who never raised his prices during the last scare, right after Sandy Hook, and he hasn't really raised his prices much now, and I love going to him because I don't mind paying that 20, maybe 25% extra, right, to buy something from him. And then I get a deal because I don't end up having to pay any transfer fees or anything because he eats that as part of that 25%, what he normally would charge you if you, say, transfer a gun in, to do the NIC check and all the Illinois crap.
Well, you gotta think about that. It's plus you start a relationship with him. You know what I mean? You never know. I help you find stuff. He's ordering, for example, he's ordering a bunch of 380s. You jump up on the order. And you ask him to order 500 rounds for you too. For him, it's cheaper. For you, it's cheaper too. You know what I mean? So it's all. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, with my guy, I ended up buying the PAP. I ended up doing the whole transfer thing, right? Because he couldn't get the PAP for as cheap as I was able to get it. When all things were said and done. but I ended up buying ammo off of them and a couple of magazines off of them at the same time as I picked up my firearm. You know.
Plus, he makes money on that FFL transfer because that's technically free to them. They just charge for their time.
Right, and all he charged me was $20 for his time. Right, and so that wasn't nothing. I've seen FFLs charging up to 70. You know, here in Illinois. So that's why I took that extra couple of bucks and I bought a few things off of him so that way he gets to stay open.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the poor bastards in California are going to do, man. I really don't.
What is going on in California? I didn't hear that part of the conversation.
Well, Jerry Brown has just signed into law basically the ability if somebody says you know how I don't know what they're wording it exactly, but it's a law that's going to allow people to call the cops on you and say you're acting angry or whatever and you own firearms, so they need to go confiscate them for up to a month while you have a hearing telling how you're not going to go out and shoot everybody. You're going to, you know what I mean?
Just another way for them to take our shit.
Turn in your neighbors.
That's all.
Did they do that shit in Nazi Germany with the turn in your Jews?
Well, and the justification they're using for it, right? Whatever that kid at that school, who's the fucking Hollywood director's kid, right? That shot 3 people in himself, stabbed 3 people.
Oh yeah, the YouTube guy.
Yeah, him. And it's all because of him, because the parents said, well, we called and had the cops go check on him, and they should have just took his guns.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody send a link to the real Triple B. We'll get his take on it.
Yeah, I wish. That dude's a lawyer. He don't go on live chats.
He needs to.
But did you guys hear about there was an article that was saying that the Russian company tried to find a way to loophole the gun ban and send their case over here?
Yep.
I'm thinking if they might make them over there, they send them somewhere else, they stamp them somewhere else so they can, like in another state.
Yeah.
Like Belarusia, for example, they can find whatever state is their ally, whatever you call it, ally, like Belarusia, one of those states friendly to Russia, and stamp them over there and shit, like what we do over here. When something said assembled in the United States, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's China-made stuff. They take a Mexican kid and then build it over here. You know what I mean? It's all bullcrap. You can find a way to loophole all the shit anyway. You know what I mean? And it's like all the people freaking out for the surplus ammo, for the 74 ammo. I can buy steel case stuff. It's still cheap. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But good for me. There are gonna be more 74 on the market now. For cheap too. For $500-600. But in Europe is the same. Now they banned the import of the AKs over there, and they switched the magazine ban from 30 to 10. They used to be they used to be able to use 30-round magazine. Now they gotta use 10-round magazine because the rifle are supposed to be used at the range only. So so it's all. But at least you know what? At least they can have a rifle. They come original from the arsenal as they are. They don't get disassembled how they happen over here. So you can get a East German or a Polish AK or a Yugoslavian AK as it is. You know what I mean? And they come with a nice Cosmo line with the, no stamps and everything. My friend bought a pop, but the real Yugoslavian version, the one with the folding stock, you know what I mean? Under folding stock, I think he paid $700. I mean, for an original one with the original receiver and everything, it's not really that much. I mean, probably $600 over here with the change, you know what I mean, and everything. But it's all the gun stuff has always been a bullshit. You know what I mean? They banned the import of rifle from China, and then 99% whatever we sell and buy over here is all made in China. So I'm like, what's the point in your ban exactly? I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you want to hurt China, don't limit their ammunition importation or their rifles.
Yeah.
Ban all their products. Well, that's because that ban was not meant for their products. It was meant for their guns and their cheap ammunition.
Yeah, that's a problem. I don't.
It was meant to hurt us, not anybody else.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But they want to sell it as it. They want. Oh, we are trying to. sanction Russia. I'm like, Russia doesn't give a shit. Right now, with all the conflict in the world, they can send their rifle all over the place. You know what I mean? They don't give a shit. The American market is 10%, maybe what they can sell. Because now most of the company, the Russian joint, they are working with 3 or 4 different countries. They're working with the industries in Russia. They're working for other country, what I mean, manufacturer. So pretty much they got business, fair enough business for the next 3 decades at least. You know what I mean? It's so bunch of bull crap. You know what I mean? I don't get it. But I don't
There you
know.
go.
Let's see what's happened at SHOT Show. I wonder if the Russians gonna show up this year. I don't think so, but I doubt about it. But
Oh, Reb, I went ahead and modified your magazine.
uh-oh.
There you go.
Bolt open?
Yep.
Nice. I gotta do some.
Nice, buddy. Nice. Sorry about that, dude.
What's up, Truth?
No, no
Sometimes
problem.
I get
I liked it
confused.
because it gave me a little bit of something to do, you know.
Yeah.
Not
How much are these followers anyway? Because I want to pick up a whole shitload.
this.
That's not polymer.
Follower. How much are the followers so that I can pick up more?
Oh, I don't know. There's
$5 a piece. You can't find the regular ones like he sent you, but you can, for $5 a piece, you can pick ones up from Primary Arms. They're $15 for 3.
Mule, I stepped away for a little bit on this new law you said in California. You want to go over what this you said for if the gun owners get hostile, whatever, yada yada. I missed most of it.
All right, I'll go look it up real quick. Give me a minute. But I want to tell you guys a quick story. You see my hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. See the shirt I'm wearing?
No.
Well, it says Bonnaroo. It's a nice tie-dye, right?
Yeah,
From
I see
the
it.
concert. And I'm wearing camis, pants, right? So I get out, me and my buddy, we get out and get coffee today over at the Dunkin' Donuts and shit, and the whole parking lot's full of cops.
Sorry.
No, it's because it is hilarious because, and me and him are talking about going and shooting the AK on his property and talking about, well, I have Katie, I'll give you Suchka, and we'll go blast up. We'll go pick up some, and we're being real loud because it was a parking lot full of cops.
Sure.
Right? Just to have some fun because, I mean, the message I'm giving, right, don't tread on me, but I'm a hippie stoner, and, we're going out to shoot shit and blow shit up. It was just fun watching the cops' faces on the way in and out of Dunkin' Donuts.
I didn't tell you, Mule, but I know Truth don't mind me bringing it up. He's having a little rough time right now with these cops in his neighborhood. One of the members was standing at the bus stop having a "Don't Tread on Me" hat and wore an American flag shirt. So the little copper comes up and starts busting the guy's balls because of the hat and of the shirt. And I'll let Truth go. Truth knows the story a lot better than I do, but
he's trying to get back in.
Yeah, but it got hostile. I mean, he called the local sheriff, and yeah, I tried to get that on a live, but I didn't know. He did it so fast, I couldn't get it.
Right.
But I want to get him back.
That's one of the reasons why we all have these cell phones. You know what? Film every encounter you have with police. But I'm going to go read that law real quick to make sure I'm up on it right.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, they're coming for in California. They're going to be coming for your guns the first time you piss anybody off. Like Kevin was saying, ex-girlfriend, whatever. Pissed off employee, pissed off employer. Right? It won't matter.
Great.
They're just coming.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Brown said it's okay.
No, and pretty much all the states like that are gonna follow them. Over here, all the possible, you know what I mean, pro-gun state are gonna follow that. Oh, look at that! They did that in. Oh, we can do the same in New York. Oh, we can do the same in Illinois. We can do the same.
Well, Illinois is getting a little more red than blue, I think. Everybody's kind of sick of Chicago and their shenanigans.
I hope so. I hope so. It's about time that people wake the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Well, that's how we got to the point where we now have concealed carry, right? If it was all blue, we would never have gotten it. Nobody would have fought for it, whatever.
I don't think it's not even matter of the NRA or what. It's actually more than the gun owner people. The NRA is not even fighting, you know, oh, NRA, you gotta vote and, you know what I mean, you're gonna be a member. Bullshit. I haven't seen them over here, you know. If we're getting whatever we are getting, it's because the people are doing that, you know what I mean? Gun owner are taxpayer, you know what I mean? Well, sure enough, there is a bunch of money involved. They figured out there is also a bunch of money involved on this stuff, you know, the 25 bucks tax, the FOID card, the concealed carry permit, you know what I mean? It's all money, you know what I mean? They're not
one of the reasons, but there are people getting involved, right? Because one of the reasons why I haven't jumped on the whole get my concealed carry bandwagon, besides not liking to be on lists, is because I'm waiting for it to get cheaper. And there's already shit going through our local government about lowering the prices because you've priced a lot of people out of being able to get it, with it being $500 to $700 to be able to get your concealed carry, not including buying the firearm.
Yeah, yeah.
All I'll say is this: is I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Amen.
And we all panic. California. Is it any surprise to anybody? And I got news for you: you're on a list. Every single one of us, we're on a list. And they know what you have. There's no hiding. Once they determine that you're a person of interest, that's it. There's, the Patriot Act, the NDAA. There's all kinds of legal precedent for them to break your fucking door down, come in and snatch you and find multiple felonies. Whether they plant them or they decided, hey, you got a illegally downloaded song on your friggin' iPod over here. That's a felony. Boom. There you go.
Well, we're all on the list. I mean, every time you fill out one of those forms for an FFL thing, I mean, they told me originally, no, this is not registration. But here they are on the phone with the FBI giving them my serial number, make, and model of the fucking gun I'm buying.
Yeah.
Personal experience.
Keep that on record for however long. Yeah, I'm on a list.
From personal experience, they know what you got, and they will come get your shit.
Yeah, I might as well just went to the government agency and said, hey, I bought this, put me on a list, because that's basically what I did.
Absolutely. And don't forget, you're on an Interpol list. If you get a concealed carry weapon permit, any state, you go on an Interpol's list. And the police have that information as well. They should. They should know who law-abiding citizens. They should assume everybody's backing. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I'm not going to fucking bend over backwards to carry a gun when it's my God-given right. I mean, you mean to tell me because of a law or an ordinance or this or that, you're not going to protect yourself the best way you know how and your family under whatever the circumstances are? Okay, well, you might want to turn your man card if that's the case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to be...
Here's the quick read of the bill.
Okay.
California will become the first state that allows family members to ask a judge to remove firearms from a relative who appears to oppose a threat under legislation Jerry Brown signed. And the only ones that voted for it were Democrats.
So does it have to be a relative, or can they bend that one too?
No, that's bent too. It gets more than that. You just have to keep reading the details.
Mm.
But of course they're throwing up the most recent shooting, and they were able to get this done, just like they got the shit after Sandy Hook done, all in a mad rush during a time when people are emotional, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot more into it. I got to read the whole bill to find out all the truth, because the shit they sneak in there, right? Whenever the fuck they want. So it's just ridiculous. And then the fact that, we were talking earlier, a few of us, and about the whole Ebola thing. It's kind of funny that with an open border down in Texas, this is just skipping a beat here, but going on to the next one. with all the shit that's going on in Texas, all of a sudden that's where the fucking Ebola shows up in, is Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, anybody surprised in that?
Well, I
Not
thought California
surprised.
had more of an open border, but
You know, the same government that's tasked to protect us, I guess, can't keep people from jumping the fence at the White House and running in. You know, but yet we expect them to keep Ebola out of the country because they're so, you know, good at what they do. Yeah.
Well, I expect them to keep our border, you know, and that's the thing. Their job is actually to keep our borders secure, and they haven't been able to do that yet. So why do we believe they can actually accomplish any fucking thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want the militia down on the border because they'll actually get the job done. You know, you got border agents, you know, taking militia people into custody and shooting at them and this, that, and the other, and they're like, well, we don't want to, you know, we don't know who's who. And it's like, well, you know, you got the cartels down there carrying guns, so why can't the red-blooded Americans be down there carrying guns? It's their goddamn border. It's our country. It's not an agency's country. But, of course, then you have to speak about the 200-mile buffer zone, the unconstitutional buffer zone, where there's no constitution in the United States for a 200-mile radius around all the fucking borders. So, I mean, we are down the rabbit hole, folks. It's not pretty. It's not time to panic. That time's over. Now it's time to prepare.
Yeah. It's been a while, probably. You know what I mean? I still surprised people seeing that now are getting ready for anything. You know, that's a problem. You know. I mean, it's been all this prepping stuff has been up. I've been doing it for like at least 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? It's for everything. Everyone, you know, making fun of you. And then one of my coworkers the other day was like, you know, I think you're right. You know, if something like that happened, you're pretty much screwed. You know what I mean? You know, even something like Ebola, everyone freaking out, go and buy food, and you know what I mean, or something like that. You know, I'm like, you know, I think you're right. I'm like, duh. You know, I keep telling you. You know what I mean? For everything, you know, it's even a snowstorm, or I keep telling everyone, can be, you know, any basically problem. You know what I mean?
and that's where that show Doomsday Preppers has really done a lot of harm more than any good.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's a problem with that stuff. But you know, I try to explain it in the easiest way. You know.
Well, and the shows like that, you know, the problem is they do their best to show people in a bad light, right? Mm-hmm. If they'd have been spinning the story differently, it would have shown all those people, same things that they're talking about, but shown it in a good light. They present it in a more positive fashion, then it shows up positively, right? If they show it like they're the crazy nut jobs who think the world's going to end, then that's the way most of the general populace believe. Right? That's why the preppers now have a bad name, the same name that the survivalists used to have. And they still even do that, right? Look at how they're accusing this person who's took to the woods up in Pennsylvania of being a survivalist, right? Because they've used it so often with bad connotations, they feel it's accusatory by using it.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, with all this crap going on in the country right now, I added in the whole, what this is about. Look at all the rats jumping ship out of the government right now.
Yeah.
You know, the ship of state is sinking, and the fucking rats know it, and they're bailing. Right? Homeland Security can't keep anybody in charge. All the top people keep swinging in and out. Right? You're seeing it all over the place in the top echelons of the bureaucracy, where people are bailing and heading to the private sector because they don't believe the fucking government's going to be around much longer either. That's why they're off in the private sector.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like Carlson even pointing out that we might not make it to 2016.
Yeah.
Well, you've been saying that a lot longer than he has.
Mm-hmm.
That's been one of your things for a while. You know, I always joke, you know, have fun with your next president, Hillary Clinton, but, you know, probably won't make it there. Between Ebola and the grid and everything else, But you know what? It's the best of times. It's the worst of times. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many knowledgeable people out there sharing great information. You know, if you're wasting your time, then hey, bad on you. Because I'll tell you what, man, I've gained a lot of knowledge and perspective from other people who've taken their precious time to inform and, you know, train and share valuable knowledge.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, and that's the beauty of this resource of the YouTube. You know, for all the fucking bullshit that we all have to deal with on it, losing track of friends, them dumping subscribers off of people all the time, being a pain in the ass with allowing chats and communication, it's still our best resource for now.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
You know, to help learn and share. And hey, G,
Yes, sir.
if Truth's having a hard time coming in, tell him to go over to the Dragon and come in as the Dragon.
He says he doesn't have your message. He says you need to do it again because he doesn't have it.
Okay, so I'll send it
If
to
you
him.
don't mind.
I don't mind. I'll do it later, but I can't do it right now.
I appreciate it.
You know, because otherwise I'd say have him just come in as the Dragon. I mean, he's got.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to do, but he's got problems getting his keys. But I appreciate you doing that for him later.
Yeah, no problem.
But he didn't pick up his keys yet?
No, he doesn't. He's trying, but the mule already sent it out to him. But
he might not have caught it in time or something. You know, who the hell knows? I'll send him another one.
He had some problems with his shit. He had to reboot. Something happened with the server. Yada yada yada. So he didn't get it.
It's not a problem. I'll take care of it to you after we're done with this chat. This was just an impromptu chat, everybody. Thanks to the 19 people that are joining us and anybody else who's out there. You know, but this is the thing that, you know, some of this shit's just pissing me off, especially with this thing in Commieforina.
Yeah.
You know, they're just, it's getting ridiculous, and how anybody could still live there, it's beyond me. You know, how anybody who believes in America and believes in whatever the hell you want to believe in is your concept of America, I think that's still it. You know, and it's funny, when it first posted it, somebody said just give it back to Mexico. I don't know if I can argue.
Well, you know,
give the rest to Mexico.
I get a lot of shit. You know, people say, "Oh, you bailed on California." That's what the problem is everybody, you know, bails on places that you know, are friggin' are commie and that are too, you know, regulatory, and they squash your fucking rights. Right? Everybody bails, and then you don't have enough good voters to, you know, change the tide. But, you know, we've been built as a country like that, to where you vote with your feet, you know. And luckily for me, the next state over, Nevada, had a lot more freedoms and a lot more things that I liked for me and my family at the time. I was born and raised in California, loved it, had some of the best times of my life there. But you know what? If it falls off into the sea and I got beachfront, you know, property, I'm cool with that, you know.
And I'm the same way with New York. I mean, New York did the same thing for me. You know, I was born and raised there. I love the city. I love New York. I love the whole damn state, from the mountains to the beaches. I
think we all go through progressions in our life, and a lot of us that are a little more in tune with what's happening tend to want to get out of urban areas as much as possible. Now, I understand that's not feasible for everyone, but you know, we have the ability to make decisions, and we have the ability to change. When my wife and I came out here, we had a baby, brand new baby, and we didn't know anyone, no friends, no family. So if we could do it and make it happen, you know, maybe it is harder nowadays because of the employment situation. But again, you got to prioritize what's important.
When we came back to Phoenix, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you know, to caveat that, you know, I've changed a lot of things in my life. You know, I used to have a lot of hobbies that I enjoyed, and extracurricular activities and things of that nature. I've stripped away all that stuff that was distracting me so that I can prepare for whatever's next. That's it.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving to Arizona back again because I grew up here, but then I left to be in Wisconsin for 10 years. Coming back, it was hard. I was on all sorts of government assistances at the time, and we had maybe $2,000. I think I pawned just about everything I had that was worth any money to a pawn store, and we loaded up the Mustang with the cat and the kid, which she was what, 8, maybe 7, 8 years old at the time, and made a 2-day trip all the way to Arizona. Luckily, I did have a place to stay when I got here, but I had no money by that time. Most of it was to get here, and we worked real hard getting work, and within about a month and a half, we were able to afford an apartment here. And it's been a struggle, but it can be done. These people that are like, well, I don't have the money to do it. No, a lot of people have a lot more money than I did at the time that talked to me about this stuff. I'm like, you got a job, you got income, you're buying, toys for the internet and shit. You can save a couple grand, and figure that shit out. And a lot of employers are hiring online right now. So go ahead and put in your applications online, and when they give you a call, make the trip, depending on how far it is, of course. I mean, if you're going from New York to Phoenix, you're not going to be able to make that trip for an interview. But California to Arizona, that's a 4 or 6 hour trip, something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Debating if move or not. I've been talking with my wife, but then again, it's going to be a totally different state. I won't mind going to Arizona, Nevada, one of those states like that. I'm for the warm weather, so I hate.
Yeah, Nevada and Arizona got that, and I don't know. Yeah, Nevada's that way too because you got the high desert area too. So depending on either Arizona or Nevada, you can decide what temperature you want. I mean, Flagstaff here in Arizona gets just as cold and just as much snow as Wisconsin does. Right? Yeah. We got ski resorts, or you can live in the Phoenix where it's hot as shit during the summer and nice in the winter. Or you can, live in Phoenix during the winter and Flagstaff during the summer. People do that all the time, depending on your income and your money.
You go with my work, technically, I can be transferred anyway. But if I keep working for that company, my big plan is actually quitting before next year. Or I'm getting a little bit tired of the company policy and the way the work they have. So I'm planning to join my friend business over here. So it is actually doing pretty good. They've been importing a bunch of stuff, so that might be the next. And again, might end up being able to make the same money I'm making right now with all the benefits, because at least I have to say as full timer, you got some good benefits. So
cost of living is a lot less here though than it is near Chicago. I can tell you that much.
I bet. And plus, probably more friendly. It's probably gun friendly there than here. That would be a big. The only thing I can figure out is because it's something interesting. So if for example, I never figure out. I'm leaving in a little bit, by the way. My last question. I gotta go work. So for forensic, I'm moving in a state like Arizona, okay? Because I'm totally ignorant about this stuff. If I'm traveling with my car or my moving truck, whatever. Mm-hmm. I got my guns with me. What I'm supposed to? Is that okay if I drive all the way through the new destination with the guns and everything in the truck?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. You gotta get them there You gotta get them there somehow, Bruce.
All right. I thought it was a problem. You know what I mean? Some states they don't allow you to go. You know what I mean?
I think all states allow you to travel through their state with your guns. But let's say if you're going to California, once you cross the border and you intend to stay there, then yes, it would be legal that you tell them all about all the guns you have and all that shit. In Arizona, that wouldn't be a problem. You don't even have to tell anybody you got guns. They're yours. So.
Okay, yeah, good to know because we were talking with my wife. Tennessee, one of those states. We're evaluating a couple of different options. Pennsylvania, seems to be a decent place too. I mean,
you're just not going to be able to. You got to get used to all the hospitality that you're going to receive being a gun owner. They fucking welcome you with open arms.
I bet.
Instead of being somewhere where they fucking look at you with 3 heads because you own a firearm.
I got a personal experience over here, G. I mean, and I was talking with the guys before I got associate the other day looking at my AK tattoos, like giving me a bad look. I mean, really bad look. I'm like, what's your fucking problem?
Yeah, exactly.
Mind your business. You know, gun ownership is
I
like.
would have told him that, Breeze. I would have said that. I would have said that to him with, with all due respect. My favorite line, Breeze, is like, yo, why are you looking at me like I stole your wallet?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And they look at you. That's what I say. Nothing really over the line. Just say, hey, why are you staring at me? Because it seems like I stole your wallet, bud, by your demeanor. Is there a problem? And then that way you could educate him, on firearms or whatever, because I've gone through that 100 times when I wear the, come and get it shirts, yada, yada. People look at you and they say, oh, God, he's wearing a gun shirt. He's a thug or an outlaw or whatever. And you look at him and say, hey, what's the problem? Do I got a stain on my shirt?
All the thugs I know, broadcast that they're armed.
Yeah, well, some other people that leave you alone. You're a gun owner, and they leave you alone. All right, fair enough. Don't bother him. Don't bother him.
You're a gun owner.
Don't leave me alone. You never know. Yeah, but
you wear one of those shirts here, you're gonna get kind of the opposite. You're most likely, if you're gonna get any reaction at all, they're gonna talk to you about it. They're gonna like, oh, you got AKs, or you're into that. Cool.
Right.
I got this. I got that. It's.
Yeah, you can find those people over here.
Advertise.
Yeah, but you gotta go out of here. You gotta go down south. You know what I mean? Or where Mew lives, probably the more friendly. You know what I mean? But not over here. Here is still kind of maybe if you go Cabela, you might find somebody over there that like your T-shirt. Because of course, if you shopping over there, 90% of the time, a gun counter is probably gun friendly. So that might be
all I can say from personal.
Here they're pretty good. It's we're only 90 miles from Chicago, so it's a hit and miss thing, right? But most people are generally gun friendly or just keep their mouths shut.
Just don't advertise your shit. That's the best way to do it. Just don't advertise your shit and keep it going.
Hey, a little bit of a change here. Did you guys hear about what happened in Mexico just recently, where they arrested like 265 cops?
What? No.
Yeah, there was a demonstration at a university down in Mexico way, right? And I don't remember what the demonstration was about, but they ended up with 2 dead students and 58 missing ones, right?
Wow.
So they basically arrested the whole police force.
Wow.
Damn.
Their federal government or whatever came in and arrested the whole local police force.
From Mexico, the Mexico police force.
Yeah. Well, this local police force got arrested by the national whatever.
Yeah, they're fucking crooked anyway.
They're all fucking crooked, but that's
they're
all
crooked.
Yeah,
here in America, you see, we let cops who are killers off all the time.
Whatever happened to that guy, Mule, the fucking soldier that got caught up in Mexico? Is he still there?
He's still
no shit. Are you serious?
Oh yeah, man. Our government hasn't done shit.
So much for no Marine left behind.
Unfucking believable. So we leave
suck it.
So we leave our guy there, and fucking he's just rotting away in the Mexican jail.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
If the Oath Keepers were ever gonna dust off their fucking britches and get behind a fucking cause, I can't think of a better one.
So this guy's going out fucking tea timing, fucking golfing, yada yada yada. I guess that's more important than getting our guy home. Wow. But they go fucking make a stupid ass fucking trade and fucking bring back a fucking Muslim that was a fucking American soldier that fucking wore dress clothes like them, ate like them, speaks their language. We go get his ass.
They had to trade the one traitor for 5 ISIS leaders because they had to get ISIS in the forefront.
Right. We had to hurry up and make that fucking move. We had to hurry up and make that exchange, but we leave our boy rot in fucking Mexico. Wow.
And
unbelievable.
People are like, oh, look at that guy. He's cutting the heart and liver out of his, his victims and eating them and stuff. Like, that's supposed to scare us.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Like, once you're dead, you're dead. So.
Well, we shouldn't be afraid of them because it's only workplace violence, right? It's not terrorism.
We're all a bunch of
Somebody's
terrorists.
head off is workplace violence. A Muslim soldier shooting up a army base is workplace violence. That's not terrorism, even though they say they're doing it in the name of jihad. Even
No,
though they,
no, no. If
they
you
tell
have guns, if you have a whole bunch of guns and thousands of rounds of ammunition, you're a potential terrorist. But if you go out and kill somebody and behead them, then it's workplace violence. There's a difference. If you act, it's violence. If you don't act, it's terrorism.
Well, no, it's not terrorism if you're claimed to be a Muslim and you act, right? It's not terrorism, it's workplace violence. If you're a white kid who shot one cop and two cops, right, and you're now hiding up in the woods in Pennsylvania, you're a domestic terrorist, and the whole state needs to shut down while they look for you. You know? But the one guy who says I'm a Muslim trying to convert Muslims, and the reason why I cut this woman's head off is because she fired me over discussing stoning women, right, and how it's a good thing. And so I came back and cut her head off and was trying to cut somebody else's head off to prove my point. You know, I'm not a terrorist. That's just workplace violence.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Upside
Do a
down
quick
world,
shout
man.
out. What was that, Reb?
I said it's an upside down world.
It
Absolutely.
really is. It really is. Let me do a quick shout out. What's up, East Texas Outlaws? Hell, I ain't seen you guys in forever. Great channel. Good to see you. America died 1913. 504 Dart. Hey, what's up, Dart? Thanks for those weekly updates on the gun channels. That's pretty cool. Ammo Junkies out there. How's it going, Ammo Junkie? Truth Seeker. Wake Up Before You Die. Bro Lance. High Desert Pioneer. The Political Port. What's up, TPP?
There
Kevin
we go.
Cole, Brian Kane, Derek Ward. Commieforina is pissing her to fuck off. Hell yeah, man. Hey, TPP, anytime you want to link, no problem. You know that. Joel Sweatman's up in the house. What's up, Joel? And that's everybody that's on that I've seen the comments for. How's everybody doing today?
Yeah. I'm getting ready for work, Mule. I gotta go, Mule.
See you,
gotta-
Breeze.
I gotta
Have
fix
fun at work
some-
tonight.
Yeah, I'll try to fix some supper and I'm gonna take out the dog. So thanks for the chat, guy. It was nice to see you, all of you. I don't wanna say-
Yeah, take care, brother.
I don't want to
Don't
say
work too hard, man.
Trust me, I won't. I'm trying not. We are trying to find deals in the overhead. We find some stainless steel tool chest yesterday. I gotta talk with the manager about the price. There was a bunch of markdown item. We find a massive. It's probably like 50-pound tool chest in stainless steel. Not even garbage. So I gotta talk with him because I need it for my gun lab. And other than that, yeah, well, you know, once in a while we get some privilege, and nothing much. Keep in contact with every one of you. I know Mule doesn't have a phone, but if you wanna send me your, if you don't mind, if you wanna send me your,
I will.
You got my phone number, Breezio. You got my phone.
I'll give you the other phone number, Breeze. Don't worry.
yeah, and
Breeze is heading to Italy here pretty soon.
Yeah.
At the end of the month, so everybody, if he doesn't show back up, I just want to wish you luck from the Dragon there, Breeze.
thank you, sir. I would
Breeze,
probably,
you got my cell number, right, brother?
yeah, brother, no problem.
Okay. Okay.
I should be able to see you guys before because I think I'm leaving on Monday, so I should be able to see at least the Sunday before or the Thursday.
Send me some pictures from the motherland, Breeze. Send me some
Well,
text.
don't catch Ebola. You know, you're just across
Oh, shit.
the Mediterranean from the dark continent. So
No, only sexual disease. Don't worry, only sexual disease.
Watch out for the simian disease.
Yeah. All right, guys, take care. Have a good night. Bye. Bye.
all right. So yeah, I mean, we all know the fucking world's topsy turvy anymore, but it just gets fucking worse and worse by the day. You know, and the fact that now that we have to constantly be reactionary is something that bugs me. You know, like with this thing in California. You know, now we have to react with 5 cups of rice. 2 packets of sizzle and 5 cups. So, you know. Yes, doing dinner. This is the dinner hour dragon that sometimes we can up on and do. Was Kansas able to pull out a DT hour today?
No, apparently his computer went to shit, and I didn't see it. I got a text, but it wasn't until like just a few minutes ago.
How's he been doing,
so we'll call this the late DT hour. And anybody who usually follows Kansas, well, sorry about it, but you got the mule, and he fucking says fuck a lot. So. And I had a good fucking day, so I wasn't even in an aggravated mood until I got on the computer. I know, Steffi, you had a shitty fucking day. I had a good fucking day. You know me. I love doing physical labor. It's more fun than a barrel of monkeys. And tearing apart a deck with a chainsaw is always a blast.
Demolition is always fun.
So, oh yeah. Pickup truck, a chainsaw, and a, huge deck to tear apart and go through on a burn pile and use to help set up as a backstop on a range. It's a good day. But then I come home and I start reading this shit. I mean, I posted it yesterday and I started reading people's reactions to it, and they're all talking about what a great idea this is and that you go to the rest of the country so they can take the fucking guns from everybody, right? And I look at it after, because I know what went down in Cleveland, right, in the outside of Cleveland, where John Crawford got assassinated over this fucking clown's accusations, right? And I watched somebody had posted a video that lined up the timestamps with the 911 call from that clown, right, the fucking liar who turned this guy in, right, and the videotape from what was going on in Walmart, right? This guy, John Crawford, never pointed that pellet gun, BB gun, whatever the fuck it was, airsoft gun, at anybody. The whole time. Yet when you listen to it side by side and you're hearing the 911 call, this guy who was accusing, right, said he was pointing it at kids, he was pointing it at women and children, and he's walking around with a gun in making it sound, he swatted them. He fucking killed them with the cops. And yet we're supposed to trust these motherfuckers with this kind of shit that's going on in California, where somebody can call up, claim they're your family, and say that you're angry, you're upset, you're going through something, and he has guns.
Well, actually, there were 2 victims in that shooting because a lady
ended up having a heart attack. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
In front of her kid.
Yeah.
So this guy murdered 2 people with a fucking cop, and everybody says that, the cops, it's not the cops' fault. Bullshit. If you watch those videos, like I said, timestamps, right? They can match it up. The time is the same in the town no matter where it is, right? So they can match it up from the exact time the phone call came in till the time the cops showed up and just shot this dude down with not a warning. Not a fucking warning. You watch it, somebody yells at the dude, he turns around, they're shooting at him already.
And it's funny because, you've heard those, we've all heard those 911 calls where, the woman is in distress, her husband's not home, and there's somebody breaking in, and, they're telling her, well, put the gun down, wait for the police, be a victim, and it's like 2 opposite ends of the spectrum there, Unbelievable.
Well, yeah, that is. But what also shocks me, and why there isn't more uproar. Ohio's an open carry state, and Walmart sells fucking firearms. How do you go storming it like it's a fucking school or some shit, right? And storm a fucking Walmart to the sporting goods department where they sell firearms in an open fucking carry state? Nobody asked a single question. Nobody calls in and talks to the management. Nobody finds out what's really going on. The cops stormed in there and shot this dude down, not caring about the first things about gun safety, right? About what's their backstop. Who's behind this guy? Right? You're shooting in a fucking department store where when you walk in the door, the only people that are shocked are the ones seeing the cops come in with their guns at the fucking ready. Right? Nobody is running around, running out of the store, acting like there's an active fucking shooter in there. Everybody's just doing their business until the cops show up. and they just open fire.
Yeah, you would think if there was an active shooter, or even if somebody was just pointing a gun at people, people would be kind of distressed and running out of the damn place by the time the cops got there.
Yeah, it's an open carry state, so that, yeah, exactly. You know, it's an open carry state, so nobody was freaking out. This fucking asshole saw a black guy playing with the gun and you can see in the tape, you see the guy one aisle over, the dude who called. You can see it when you look at the big Walmart fucking security tape. You can see the dude who called one aisle over. So I don't know he was probably the one that took the fucking gun out of the package. Because if you go to Walmart, those guns are all in fucking packaging. But he just walked up and picked it up. The guy who died, John Crawford. Right? So the guy who called is one aisle over and knows he's not fucking doing it. You can see, just watch the fucking videos and listen to that shit. It's ridiculous.
Well, didn't they prosecute that one 15-year-old that got caught swatting?
I'm sure somebody's thinking about it, right? Somebody's thinking about it. You know, the prosecutor, whatever. Somebody's seriously thinking about it. You know, they have to be, because when you think, just think about the kind of lawsuits they're going to get from the fucking woman who had a heart attack. Let alone the guy they assassinated. What about the bystander?
Yeah.
You know? So it's just ridiculous. And then they're going to do this. Can you imagine what this is going to be like in California? I mean, seriously, anybody can call up, say that they're, you know, I'm his cousin, I'm his whatever, and he's got guns and he scares everybody.
This is just more of the, you know, say something, see something, say something campaign. You know, I mean, they're already getting massive funding for checking felons' residence for guns and doing these no-knock SWAT raids and what have you in California and other states.
Well, the sad thing is, most of us here on the panel are old enough to remember when the wall came. Remember when the Berlin Wall came down? I mean, I'm hoping most of you were born before '92. You know, before the '90s.
Thank God.
Yeah. So, but remember what was on the other side of that wall? It was called the Stasi, right? It was the secret police of East Germany. And the secret police of East Germany employed 51.7% of the population to spy on the rest. So think about that. In a family, like say you marry a woman, she was more likely spying on you for the state, as well as being your husband, your wife, and annoying you, you know. But, you know, she was also spying on you for the state. Your kids, they would be coerced through school to spy on you for the state. And that's the kind of crap that we're bringing it into.
Our local police departments now have on the back of the car, see something, say something. I think serve and protect is becoming passé.
Well, you know, they don't serve and protect. It's see something, say something. They're
intimidate and interrogate, and let the judge sort it out, is what it should say.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. I mean, how many times, and Kev, you and I have been in chats with plenty of people we consider friends here on the internets, right, to where they're like, they preach the deal with it in court shit. Don't deal with it with the cop on the side of the road, deal with it in court. Right?
Correct.
So they're telling us that, and you hear it all the time, you know, that the cop on the road doesn't have to be smart enough to know the law, deal with it in court. And then when you get into court, the lawyers don't have to be smart enough. I mean, it's all, we're so fucked it's not even funny. You know, and they're all telling you constantly never fight back. It's never fight back. Don't stand up for yourself. Don't get loud. If you see something, say something. If a guy wears this hat, say something, right? That's why I had fun with the cops today at the Dunkin' Donuts. You know? Me and my pal. we went out and had a blast talking about going and shooting shit up and showing up and, you know, don't tread on me, you tie-dye Bonnaroo fucking shirt.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, there was the whole fucking parking lot was full of local cops, county cops, and the statey, and they were all getting coffee at the same time. I don't know fucking why, but we went there when I was getting coffee, and so me and him just got out the truck talking all kinds of shit about how we're gonna go blow up some tannerite with the AKs, yeah, baby, you know. And of course, the cops didn't move one iota while we were getting our coffee. They stared at us the whole time in, whole time out.
So you were basically swatting yourself.
Oh yeah, we were just fucking around. It was no big deal. Hey, sometimes, you know, you just got to get under the enemy's skin.
Right. Well, it's funny because I saw a new car out here, totally undercover, looked like a friggin' some sort of little Ford compact car. It was all white, and it had like one light where the rear view mirror is. And I'm sorry for, you know, if that cop is listening. You try to pull me over in that little car, I'm not pulling over. Sorry, I'm not pulling over unless I can identify that you are the police. Sorry, you know, my tax dollars, you know, should be able to pay for a car that's that I can recognize with my old eyes that indeed, you know, you are who you say you are.
But
right?
They don't like traveling that way anymore. You look at all the newer cop car. Well, any unmarked cop car around here looks like everybody else's car. It's multiple brands that they've gotten through, you know, forfeiture laws and shit like that.
Anybody can put some LED lights on their car. Anybody. And, you know, they can make it look legit. In fact, I saw another vehicle just the other day. It was a big Toyota truck, and I was admiring it. And then I realized it had a light bar on top. It was real stealth-like. I almost missed it. And I was looking at it going, okay, what the hell? I was looking at the license plate trying to see what kind of agency or whatever, and I couldn't tell you what it was. But it was a dang nice truck, and it had a light bar on top. So I'm walking out of the store, and I see a dude that just looks like you or I get in there like nothing and drive off. And I'm thinking, what in the world was that?
Well, I know a lot of the volleys out here have those low-profile lights, the volley firemen.
Yeah.
And shit like that. So they're all, you know, because everybody likes to buy the cool new gear, right? So they have cool new subdued lights, but yeah.
If I can't identify the vehicle that's trying to pull me over, I'm not pulling over. Sorry. You know, I think my tax, you know, like I said, my tax money pays for, you know, having vehicles that, you know, and those types of vehicles shouldn't be used in traffic stops anyway, in my opinion. You know, they should have to have a plainclothes, you know, cop car, if you will.
Haven't there been a bunch of stories over the last couple of years about females being abducted or abused with people posing that way?
Absolutely.
Yeah, my daughter
posing in a black and white, right?
Oh, I believe you. I'll taste it. It's too hot for me, baby. It's fresh out the thing.
Don't mind Mule. He doesn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't call me baby, Mule. Call me.
No, I was talking about my daughter.
It's too hot, baby.
Yeah, we can't talk about that in public there, Kev, you know. We save that shit for SHOT Show.
There you go.
But that's the truth of the matter. There's all kinds of freaks that are within the departments that are abusing people as well as pretenders. Anybody can go out and get one of those costumes, man.
Just recently, a real cop, right, one, you know, officer of the law, supposedly, has been doing the exact same thing, raping women he's pulling over. And his police chief, right, said don't break the law. Well, this guy wasn't pulling over lawbreakers. He was just pulling over the ones he thought was hot.
Yeah. And that police chief, I hope your wife, your daughter, somebody you care about has to deal with that. Let's see how you
that'll never happen unless they're outside of the jurisdiction. Because remember, the second the cop gets behind you, he starts running the plates of the car you're in.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Why do
technically,
you
they're
think?
not supposed to do that. They're not
Why do you
supposed to
think?
run your plates for whatever, right?
As far as I've been told, when they run your plates, they also know if you bought any firearms from a store.
Yeah, they. If you've ever had a NICS check, background check, you're
Yeah,
on
it's
the
all in the
list.
same database, isn't
If
it?
you have a concealed carry weapon,
No,
and
they don't
you're
fuck us because they know me.
and your state has regulations where you're supposed to identify to the police officer that you're carrying that gun, that's exactly what they do. And if you, heaven forbid, you don't immediately tell them, hey, I have my firearm on me, and instruct him of that, you're in a world of shit. You will be. They can charge you for that, and you'll lose your concealed weapons permit.
Yeah. My daughter's laughing that they don't pull in the county we live in. They don't pull my cars over because once they run my plates, they know who I am. And it's always they have to have this big thing flagging it, calling big pain in the ass. Not worth your time. Because the only time they've ever pulled over one of my vehicles in the past 5 years was when I forgot to renew my license for a month, and they pulled my daughter over right in front of the house.
They just know that you're gonna sit in jail instead of bond out. They're not gonna get any money out of you.
Oh yeah, they don't get money out of me. I got time,
Yeah, right.
and I don't give a shit because they can't steal. I'm free wherever they can lock this old body up all they want. I'm still free because I'm free up here, right? I'm free in the noodle. The mind is free, so is the soul, right? So they can do whatever the hell they want to this goddamn body of mine, from locking it up to killing it, and they're never going to change me. Because that's where true freedom starts, is in the mind and in the heart.
I mean, if you just talking about freedom, I mean, it's just like, we can all remember the days when we could go to a sporting event or a concert, and you wouldn't get groped. There was no metal detectors, and everybody had a good time. And now our kids, it's like, forget about it. They won't know what freedom is. They've been brought up in this, 9/11 boondoggle, and now it's like, oh no, everybody's a terrorist and everybody's out to get you, and ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And we were warned about this type of thing, from our founding fathers.
Yep.
And it went on deaf ears, I guess, for generation after generation, and here we are today.
We got comfortable.
Well, now I have to explain to my kids what freedom was, because their grandfathers, my generation, and probably our great-grandfather's generation, we all fucked it up so much that it's not the same thing any longer. They're not free any way, shape, or form. And trying to explain to them what freedom was, it's hard because they have no concept of what. I don't have to ask permission to do something? How did that work? Oh, that's scary. You thought for yourself?
Well, in a way, it kind of, I think it's kind of built into the whole freedom, right? Because freedom can't last because true freedom does well for the people who want to take away your freedoms. I mean, the whole freedom of speech. Well, if you're a communist, okay, and you want to talk about communism, you have that right to, which is fine, right? But those people then start getting into office, whether they say they're communist or not, and before you know it, they're doing, stuff to take away your freedoms a little bit at a time, and by allowing them, to have that freedom to be, that kind of a thinker, it's kind of your own self-destruct button.
Yeah, we're living in a world where everybody's been convinced that security is worth more than freedom.
It's an illusion.
It is, and we were warned by one of our greatest founding fathers, right? One of the true American Renaissance men, Benjamin Franklin. And I love you too, babe. And he warned us of it, and nobody listened. And even today, when people scream it out the rooftops, they're like, "But I'm so afraid. I want to be secure. I don't care about freedom."
Well, but when you have Ebola and ISIS and Al Qaeda and Bin Laden, and you got to be afraid of your own shadow, and you know, don't, heaven forbid, you know, protect yourself. We don't want you to have the guns. You know, we'll take care of the guns. We'll be there when you need us. Type of
You see,
mentality.
that's why I kind of don't give a shit about Ebola that much, right? I mean, we're all gonna die one way or another, whether it be Ebola, car accident, smoking, cancer, fucking the water you drink, you know.
Well, you know, okay, so there are bad things out there, right? But you know, I don't expect them to fly people in, contagious people in under nefarious circumstances, and then say, "Whoops, sorry about that." But
If
hey,
you
we got
ask
a
me,
vaccine for you.
I think the world needs a culling anyway. I think we need to get rid of 90%
Well,
of the
the
people on the
purge is
planet.
coming. It is, but no, I don't want to go out like that. I want to go out on my, you know, fighting. I don't want to go out from some friggin', you know, disease.
Well, it's funny how you noticed that this week, or maybe it was late last week, the city that the Georgia Guidestones are in went and took down that 2014 date, and it turned out there was a lot more on there than just that date on that block at the Georgia Guidestones. Right.
I
So
still remember.
somebody,
Yeah, there was a lot of weird things on there, wasn't there?
yeah, there was JAM, there was MM, and there was an 8 and 16. So who knows? Maybe it meant to say 8/16/2014 was the start. I went and looked and seen what happened on that date. Other than the fact that Ebola jumped the country, there wasn't much.
I made a comment. I think it was on something you posted there, Mule. But you know, we got Ebola coming. It's a Houston. Well, what was it? No, Atlanta originally, right? That's where they flew him into. Now The Walking Dead's going to be coming on here in a couple weeks, right? So you can watch The Walking Dead while they were doing it on, you know, outside your door.
Right, right. And that may have actually been one of the days that they brought one of the people in was 8/16. I don't remember correctly.
Yeah, it seems about close.
It is. It's pretty damn close, isn't it? Yeah, it's just a fucking crazy old world, and all I care, you know, the reality of it is the only people that I truly care about surviving are my family. You know, so I'm going to work everything, no matter what the thing is, from disaster to, you know, civil unrest to war to whatever. I'm going to take care of me and mine. And that's what all my preps are for, are me and mine. You know what I mean? And not lone wolf, just first come my kids, my grandkids, my wife and I. Everybody else is secondary.
And that's how it's got to be.
Yeah. Because every day it's getting worse and worse, you know. And people are telling us, you know, our government's telling us that the Islamic State is not Islamic. Okay. So, and that, you know, terrorism by Muslim extremists in the workplace is not terrorism, it's workplace violence. So, you know, like Reb keeps saying, up is down, white is black, black is white. You know, it's ridiculous at this point.
Well, they've been blurring the lines for a long time now. I mean, ever since, you know, the good old days where the cowboy that was good wore a white hat and the bad guy wore a black hat. You know, I mean, back then, I'd say 50s and stuff, we had good versus evil, right versus wrong. You know, now it's gray areas, right? You have anti-heroes, right, on movies. He's a bad guy, but you cheer for him for some reason. And I don't know, just where was that whole good guy versus bad guy, good versus evil thing?
Well, we don't even believe in evil anymore. You know, and everybody has the capability of it, but we don't believe in it as a whole, as a thing, as evil. Right? Everything's either evil or nothing's evil anymore. You know, Satanists are not evil, right? Even though they worship Satan, right? They're not really evil anymore. They're like anybody else, you know. But a good Christian who believes in Christianity and holds true to the fact that all life is given by God, well, they're evil because they don't like abortion. So it's just a ridiculous bullshit that goes on in this fucking topsy-turvy society we live in, and it's just shocking because what we're really watching is like the fall of an empire, and nobody fucking wants to talk about that.
Yeah, that brings up a point that I wanted to make a while back. I'll make it now. The whole topsy-turvy thing. I mean, shit, we have them trying to force pastors and preachers of Christian organizations to, they're going to have to start marrying gay people or not marry anybody at all, because if they don't marry somebody who's gay, then they're, discriminating. But I would love to hear if they're planning on doing that with mosque. Now, I mean, if a gay couple go to a mosque and demand to be married, are they gonna go after the mosque if they deny to marry these gay people? Because I have a good feeling they would never do that. Oh, man.
Well, it's going to be an interesting year, end of the year.
That's for sure. Linus Vilkas thinks that we should call on police officers saying that they have rifles and ammo and are making deranged threats.
Vilkas is always good. Hey, Sting, can you do a quick shout-out? I got some paperwork to fill out for my kid.
All right. East Texas Outlaws. It's not terrorism. It's just freedom of religion. WTF. Ammo Junkie, what's up? 504 Dirt Dart.
Dirt Dart.
Let's see. American Died 1913. Truth Seekers out there. What's up? Wake Up Before You Die. Ebola breakout in Texas, and quarantine is the only way they'll be able to not lock down Texas to start taking weapons. Yeah, a lot of people think Texas is a big-time gun state. And if you ask people that aren't gun people what state is the most gun-friendly, they'll usually say Texas. Or even if they're just uneducated on guns, they'll say Texas. And it's somewhat gun-friendly, but definitely not the most gun-friendly. They got all sorts of rules and regulations. You can't open carry a pistol, for crying out loud, in Texas. And the only exception is if it's a replica, non-functioning, like cap gun of an old 1800s revolver. And that's only if you're doing like a cowboy action show. Other than that, you can't open carry a pistol in Texas anywhere. You can open carry a rifle, and you can get your license to conceal carry, but Texas is definitely not as conservative, gun-friendly as you'd think. Kevin Stoll is out there. What's up? Brian Kai and Derek Ward. I think that's it for the shout-outs. Rebel left. Other than that, not much going on.
Would I leave and killed the chat?
Yeah, you did. And then Mule left, and I ain't got nothing to talk about. Shit. I'm here learning more than I am here educating.
Well, I won't get into it, but tomorrow night we're definitely going to be taking a look at that Walmart video, the kid that got killed in Walmart with the gun. And also, there was another shooting recently that I wanted to cover. The guy in Texas that runs from the cop, that video. We're going to definitely dissect that one as well.
Or how about the guy in I think it's South Carolina who was reaching for his ID, or the old man, the 68-year-old man, I don't even know where that is, that got shot in his driveway when he pulled into it after a cop was following him.
Well, You know what? At least the one that was reaching for his ID, that cop not only got fired, but is getting prosecuted so far. I don't know how that'll turn out, but I'm hopeful on that one.
All right, now on CNN, they're showing breaking news. Ebola patient flew 2 United Airlines flights. They've got all these pictures of this guy, and it says he traveled through Washington's Dulles Airport. So he went from Liberia to Belgium to D.C. to Dallas.
But I thought you couldn't pick it up from just close contact. You had to swap spit with them or something. Isn't that what they were saying? It's not airborne?
Well, that's what they're saying, but at the same time, I don't buy it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, how many people in Africa are swapping spit to make it so contagious over there? What is it now, over 1,000 people?
You get on a flight with that recirculated air and someone's got a bad cold, you're going to get that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but they're saying it's not like the cold, right? That's what they're trying to comfort everybody, saying, oh, you can't catch this. It's not airborne unless you bodily fluids are exchanged. Well, in that case, nobody should have to worry. And people in Africa, as long as they stop kissing each other, they wouldn't be, dying by the hundreds. So what the hell?
How long until America, in the airports, you see people wearing protective masks like you see in Japan and Korea and China all the time?
Right.
I bet you that sweeps the nation.
Probably a good idea.
Well, my father-in-law has some issues, and for the last several times we've been on a flight, he's been wearing a mask. His immune system's tough, so he can't get anything like that. And everyone stares and look, again, they look and see that he's got a condition, and they don't bother, but everyone looks, and I guarantee you that shit's gonna be real normal real soon.
Yeah.
Well, it's all part of the be afraid of everything. You know what I mean? Be afraid, and even stuff that you should justifiably be afraid of, like Ebola. I mean, who the fuck wants to die bleeding out of every orifice?
That's what
like
I'm
Reb
saying.
said, I'd rather die with my boots on, fighting anybody rather than that.
Well, if you get Ebola, go.
I'd rather die by the sword than some friggin', Ebola. I didn't travel to Africa for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Now what? It's going to come to my backyard? Really?
Now they've got a number. Up to 20 people exposed to U.S. Ebola patient.
Well, if he's been through Dulles, it's way more than that.
Yeah, 2 United Airlines flights on his trip to Dallas. Come on. How many people were exposed?
Well, then we got to start talking about, well, is this just complete incompetence, or is this really the eugenics program, and this is how they're going to do it? Which is it? It's one or the other. It's either genius that this is what they're going to do and everybody is going to lap it up, or it's totally incompetence and we're like, everybody should get lynched.
It's probably both, Reb.
Yeah, I'm with Kev, because, think about it. If they say the Georgia Guidestones, they really just announced their plans and they put the Georgia Guidestones up to let everybody know what we're planning on doing, right? You're not going to be able to decimate the world's population by the amount that they say you need to keep only 500 million people alive with any other way other than a pandemic.
Why does the government have a patent on Ebola? I know enough to know that they weaponized it, and we do nasty shit, right?
I love how we think we're above it because we're all scientific these days in 2014. Dude, the Black Plague and all these other things wiped out the world several times, and we act like as humans we have these great immune systems that are never going to have to deal with anything that's mutating or all that stuff. It's crazy to think that. At the same time, the other crazy thing that I'm sitting here thinking is like someone mentioned, Texas is going to get locked down.
Yeah.
If it goes from 20 people to all these people, a hospital released the patient by a mistake, that means he was out on the street for 2 or 3 days. Here's another one. Patient had contact with 5 children at 4 schools.
Oh, boy.
What? They're going to have to lock down that town, and it's going to go outward from there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Soon as 1 or 2, again, this is one dude. What happens when it hits 3, 4, 5? It's only going to take 2, 3 weeks for this shit to happen.
Didn't this happen in a movie? Didn't this exact scenario play out in a movie?
Several.
Yeah, 12 Monkeys is one of them. What was
28 Days.
Yeah.
I think
Outbreak.
it's movie night around here.
Hmm.
What? Watch another.
Grab your popcorn.
Yeah, I gotta see what the next step is here. 'Cause I think
Right.
Kev's onto something.
Yeah, we got to figure out what's going to happen next. we need to look for what's it called? What's the place they just found in The Walking Dead?
Oh, Terminus.
Terminus. We got to find Terminus before it starts, so we can go get there.
I mean, we have to make light of it because it's really so sinister that, I mean, you just got to poke fun at this. It's like, really, you know?
Well, think about it again. We it's such a thrown around term. It's almost overused at this point. But think about just the sheep. Just the average American that wakes up every day, gets to the job that he hates, blah 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 blah. They're not even paying attention. Now they're a little scared because it's on CNN, right? But I don't think they have any clue as to what this really could be.
Right. And let's define that a little bit. Who are the sheep? I can tell you who the sheep are. If you've gotten a flu shot, chances are you're a sheep.
Never had one.
Simple
Wife
as
has never
that.
had one, and neither has my daughter.
You guys are touching a sore spot here. Now, I do not do flu shots, but my wife is a nurse. She has to. Now, she gets the special one, for the record.
Well, she gets different than your average Joe. She's a first responder.
Correct. She gets one of the ones that they don't use the egg yolk to keep or some crazy whatever the hell. They don't use a couple of the weird things that they use for the mass ones. But yeah, there's, again, I'm totally against that stuff.
Well, just think, we're going to have a vaccine for Ebola.
Well, they do. Obviously, if they patented it, there was a reason they did that.
Yeah, and they brought
weaponizing it.
They brought those guys back to Atlanta, and they were able to save them with a 90% kill rate on that disease.
Well, here's the funny thing. There was a kid that got Ebola. His whole family died, and he got it as well. And he survived. And so, it doesn't kill 100%. There will be survivors. If there's a massive outbreak, there will be people who, I don't want to say are immune, but that it won't kill.
So this guy, okay, just for the record, this is what's coming out right now. They're saying that this guy went to the hospital, complained of issues, and when they turned him home and sent him home with his antibiotics and his pain reliever, they knew that he was a Liberian national who had just returned.
Yeah, but trust us because we're confident enough to handle this situation.
Wait a minute.
Panic.
Wasn't there a ton of protocols sent out to all these? Again, my wife has talked to me about this. There's been a bunch of protocols set in place at all the hospitals around the United States in terms of how to handle Ebola.
Yep.
What to look for. Da-da-da-da-da. And you're telling me that they got him. He says, I'm from Liberia. I just got back. I feel like shit. Here's an antibiotic and a pain reliever. Are you kidding me?
Well,
Make sure to visit the nursery school on your way home.
Yeah, make sure you go see 5 kids.
I'll tell you why, Kev, because the guy probably had Obamacare insurance and nobody wants to fucking take that shit. Right?
Well, what happens to the next guy that comes back from Liberia and decides to go to the Jets game over the weekend?
Right.
Yeah, the Jets suck anyway.
This is a bad movie. It really is.
Well, they're not even a New York team anymore. They don't.
No, they're in New Jersey.
I knew I could throw someone that someone would bitch about, but yeah, the Jets.
Well, I used to be a Jets fan because I used to go watch them in Shea, but that tells you how long ago that shit was.
Yes, hey.
We're the most schizophrenic chat ever.
We always are. But I'll tell you what, and that's going to be the way to do it, is they're going to get somebody sick is going to get into some, just say going to a nightclub, not even a sporting event. This guy just wandering around Dallas probably infected at least 100, 150 people. They're saying 20. It's at least 10 times that. Because how many people do you see in a day? How many people do you talk to? So say it is saliva or fluid contact, right?
Okay.
How much fluids do you leave all over a fucking place in a day?
Sneeze, don't wash your hands, open a door, there you go. You got it.
Right?
So why Texas, though? Well, let's try to read between the lines here. Why Texas?
Separate the country.
There you
Right
go.
down the middle.
Open border, easy to block off.
Right in the middle.
Plus the open border. You know, even though they're saying this guy came in by plane straight from Liberia, you know, who's to say somebody in that same emergency room wasn't an illegal? You know, going to spread that shit around with that. Who the fuck knows? Nobody knows how it spreads. It's funny, though. All who are treating it and are all covered with every, you know, kind of fucking protective suit are getting it. You know, they constantly scream it's not airborne, but all the people who are wearing all the protective suits and taking all the super duper precautions are the people that are getting it.
Well, the original doctor that they brought in to Atlanta that had it, they gave him blood transfusions apparently, and so he's okay. That's how they, you know, they got him cured, if you will.
I haven't heard enough
Let's all put all the pieces together. I'm gonna really take a left turn here, but let's just say that the next guy that comes back from Liberia lives in Ferguson.
Right? Okay.
And he's black.
I'm just gonna tee that up there and let you guys run with it because I've already run with it in my sick little head.
Wow, dude, you should be a screenwriter, bro.
That's the zombies taking on the cops all of a sudden, isn't it?
Right? Dude, you missed your calling. You should be a screenwriter, man.
Yeah, right. He comes back, he infects a few, and then the next thing you know, there's a protest and another cop shooting or something like that. And then the next thing you know, the cops are standing there with their guns, but people are sitting there with bottles of body fluid ready to launch at them with Ebola.
Yeah. Eat my shit.
Not a bad scenario there. I mean,
Hey, does anybody know where I can get some bath salts?
And say, but
Hey, there have been some. All I go with it is again. There's been some sick people that it's been proven they knew they had AIDS. They went and infected another, half a dozen people or a dozen. There's been a couple stories that I heard in the gay community in what was it in New York in the gay community? Something happened with some guy like on purpose infected people.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about it. Again, you scare everybody for several weeks about Ebola. Next thing you know, some guy standing in a situation with a jar full of liquid and says it's Ebola. Well, holy shit, that's pretty terrifying.
Well, think about this. Think about somebody with a suicide vest. I got Ebola.
Ugh.
Talking body fluids, right? Take your scenario. Somebody from Liberia ends up in Ferguson, right? They get Ebola, and they're out there protesting, and a cop shoots them.
Here's the next line. Officials may isolate U.S. troops returning from Ebola zone.
And it begins.
And it has begun. May isolate an Ebola zone. I like that.
Now, didn't Obama sign some sort of executive order as of late that basically said that they can detain people who basically show symptoms of respiratory problems?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He signed enough stuff that they literally can go down some really wicked roads of how people are treated in America.
So
really draconian, Kafkaesque roads. Hell yeah.
Can you say FEMA camps, maybe?
It's funny how all this crazy shit...
They're Ebola detainment camps, buddy. They're not FEMA camps.
So, let me ask you guys all a personal question. Well, not a personal question, but let's just throw it out there. So, all of a sudden, Texas becomes this zone where there's issues, and they got to stop the outbreak, and da-da-da-da-da, and literally, all of a sudden, Texas is quarantined, right? And then the way they decided to save us all is to give us all the shot. You do it?
Fuck
no.
Mm-mm.
What if you go to jail if you don't?
Well, no, because I won't be going to jail.
Yeah, I'll be going to the morgue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I read all these books growing up as a kid. I never thought it would be happening in America, but a lot of people fucking planned it, right? And a lot of people have been screaming about this since the fucking 50s, right? I mean, think about it. Fucking 1984 was written in 1948. So shit's been fucking warned to us for a fucking 100 years and nobody's listened.
Right.
And anybody who does warn people, either in fiction or in trying to call it truth, right? They're all called tinfoil hat motherfuckers, and yet all these playbooks are coming true. Pretty soon, you know, we already have a place called Soylent Green, right? There's the Soylent Corporation. Well, fuck, 20 years ago there was a movie called Make Room, right? They changed to Soylent Green, that it ends up grinding up humans to feed other humans.
And then they did that shit to heat a hospital in England?
I thought that was called fast food.
They're doing that to heat fucking, and not only England, they're doing that, they're grinding up human body parts to heat a fucking place in Seattle or some shit, up in Washington State. So yeah, it's happening. It's happening, and nobody believes it. The fires of Baal are going on, and they're throwing children's bodies into it.
Jesus. Hey, listen, I had this conversation with my brother last night, and neither of us are fitness experts or gym guys by any means. But we're gonna go do Jaeger's training in like 6 weeks.
Right.
We were talking about it. It was like, you know, all indications are it's a workout. You know, it's a 2-day workout. And we were just talking about, you know, stretching and getting a little bit more into shape over the next 6 weeks. I encourage everybody.
Right.
If you're looking at what's going on in the world and you don't have the endurance to run a mile, you might want to get there.
Yeah. Yep.
If you don't have the endurance to, again, do more than the average stuff that you're doing every day, I would just encourage everybody. And all I'm doing, and again, I'm not going to bullshit you, I'm doing 30 minutes a day. Like literally this time of day after dinner, I got some 20-pound weights. I do my push-ups, my sit-ups, my stretches, and I do a bunch of curls. And then I try to ride the bike with the dog to do the cardio and do a couple other things to do the cardio. But I hate even talking like that because I'm such not a exercise guy. But I just think everybody, and I know how much it sucks. You know, people say, well, why don't I work out? Because it fucking hurts and I don't like it and it sucks. Stretching's not fun. But I encourage everybody, man, get your body, I sound like Jaeger, but get your body where it needs to be. Because otherwise you're really at a disadvantage.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you talk about prepping and survivalism and, you know, kit and strategy and all that. Absolutely. You have to be, you know, mentally strong as well. But absolutely, man. Everybody at this point should be saying this shit's real. And just to fight off the toxins that we're all, you know, exposed to. You know, I had to have this discussion with my children. You know, we don't eat fast food and stuff. And, you know, my daughter hangs out with her friends and stuff, and, you know, their parents, you know, they live in these fast food places. They don't cook, apparently. So, you know, they offer my daughter, you know, fast food, and she's like, no thanks, you know, whatever, and they think she's a freak. But, you know, I got to explain to my kids that, look, man, we're living in a world, literally, where they can sell you poison and say it's food. It's safe to chew gum. It's safe to eat this. It's safe to drink that. Meanwhile, it's friggin' giving you cancer and killing you. And, you know, for children, it's very hard to grasp that, you know, that all this shit on the shelves, all the stuff in the fast food places, it's all pure poison. There's no nutritional value to it whatsoever. It's just poison.
And, well, you can usually get away with the salads in most of those places if you're stuck. You know what I mean? And that's the only food that your kid's going to eat while they're spending the day with their friend. You know? You got to find something because you don't want your kid to starve, right? So tell her to stick to salads and shit, and she should be pretty good. Don't use the fucking dressing. Just eat like a rabbit, and you should be okay.
I hate to be that guy. Get off your fucking ass, too. Just fucking walk around the block. Just do something different than you're doing now. The other thing I was going to say is, and I realize the cost that's involved, but you need to train. And even if that's just going to the range, you need to get as proficient and comfortable with your firearms as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it a step further. Get together with some people. You know, militia's a bad word. You know, Minutemen, whatever you want to call it. You know, shooting club. I don't care what you call it, but
sportsman club.
Hook up and get out there. Because you're absolutely right.
But I usually don't do too much dry firing when I was at the range. And again, I was over shooting a quick video today, and I decided I just had 2 magazines for the M&P 40, so I had 30 rounds. But I dry fired for 10 minutes, and all I did was tap, rack, and trigger press over and over and over again. And it's just, again, do whatever you do, but you don't have to go spend a shitload of money. I only shot 30 rounds of real, ammo, and when I left, I felt like I got a full, a good little session in. Anyway, just throwing it out there, man. And I know ammo's expensive, and you probably want to be cashing ammo more than you want to be shooting it. At the same time, there's nothing like having recoil in your hands and managing it, doing all those things properly.
I say ammo downrange is better than ammo stockpiled, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You're going to be in some sort of standoff where, right, you have somebody loading your magazines and handing them to you in a firefight? No, I don't think so. So realistically, you're going to need what you can carry. Well, what can you carry? 5 magazines? 8? I mean, that shit's heavy.
Yep.
But I often out of 10, right?
I often think that that's the one mindset issue that shit hits the fan tomorrow, okay? And the average person has to get out there and defend themselves or defend for their families or whatever it may be, right? They're showing scenes from the Outbreak movie on CNN right now, by the way. With him in Dustin Hoffman in the seat, all the people in the suit, all the people freaking out.
Talk about ginning up some fear.
Here's the map. Here's the map where all the dots start to populate, and then eventually it's all red, and then everybody has it. Holy shit! There it was. They're doing everything. CNN going all out. Shit, I forgot what I was talking about. Sorry. Well,
no, you had it right. Everybody thinks that
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. That you're going to get out. Let's say you get out there and you get in a firefight. I think lack of ammo and lack of ability to reload is going to screw more people than they think.
Yeah.
I think the AR platform is going to screw most people.
Well, I'll let you know what the battlefield pickups I get there, Reb.
Yeah. No, I have this conversation with people all the time, man, because they stockpile ammo. That's the thing to do, and that's great. I'm into precious metals too, but realistically, I'm going to try to avoid engagement at all possibilities. So therefore, my mindset is not to have a standoff, not to bug in and wait for the tank or whatever. My mindset is to stay away from trouble. As long as I can, as much as I can.
And when trouble comes, hit it from about 800 yards out.
Right?
No, when trouble even smells, you hit it with everything you got and make sure that nobody wants to fuck with you,
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the other thing, too. How many people really go through their, for lack of a better term, their bug-out gear and really evaluate how far can I possibly make it with this shit on my back? And let's say you're on foot, like you said. I mean, it's an ongoing battle, man. I mean, you need this, but wow, that's heavy. You need that. Maybe you don't need this. I'm going through that right now.
Great cardio challenge right there, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm
going through that now with the food that I have in my bag. It's like I have a lot of freeze-dried food, and it's really light. But fuck me, it takes a massive amount of water to make it fucking edible. What am I supposed to do? Piss in there and eat it? I mean, it's one of those things, man. Get your systems together, get your kits together. It's fine if you want to bug out in your vehicle and you got a bug out bag for your vehicle, but get a system together that you can actually lump and then talk to me and see what's what.
If you're walking, everybody's fucked because, just the amount of water you need in a day, yeah.
That's where
next to impossible.
There's another interesting thing when people talk about marauding invaders and gangs of roving people that are going to come and take over. Hey, listen, it takes water and food to get any set of troops to a situation where they're going to go fight for you.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get them there. You got to make sure they're hydrated so that they can perform. That's no easy task on the fly. Again, I'm in southern Florida. It's hot. I think there'll be a lot of bugging in.
Yeah, and what will happen is a lot of people will starve in their own houses because they won't have enough. They won't be ready.
Hey, 223 takes out a gator real quick. Gator meat.
There you go.
Speaking of gator meat, man, it's dinner time around here, so I'm gonna bid you gentlemen a farewell. Good chat, good conversation. Everybody out there that joined us, thanks.
Yeah, and we're closing in on 7 o'clock here. So, you know what? Can you stick around for 5 more minutes?
Fuck no, my dinner's ready. Later.
All right, fuck you. Bye.
Peace.
Because I was just going to let everybody do some shout-outs if they want to. We'll close it down in 5 minutes at 7 o'clock. This was an impromptu. Thanks, everybody, for joining us who has and tried. You know, see you, Reb. And for everybody who didn't make it, you can check out our conversation. I still feel for you poor bastards in California. If we even make it anywhere anytime soon, you know, as long as the wheels keep rolling, you guys are more screwed than everybody else. So, Kev, you want to do some shout-outs? I know you got your chat coming up tomorrow, and it sounds like it's going to be a good one.
Going to be a good one tomorrow night. We'll definitely be delving into a couple of the videos that are out there. Definitely the Texas cops that were chasing that kid and were so out of breath that they couldn't even take him down and hitting him with the baton, and then he actually gets back in the car and tries to attack him with the car. We'll go over that one. And God, his name escapes me now, but obviously the now infamous video that's been released about the guy in Ohio.
John Crawford.
There you go, John Crawford. Thank you. God bless him and his family, because that is brutal, and we are going to definitely dissect that one, regardless of who's on the panel. Panel guest tomorrow night for sure is going to be Lee Queen from Head Down Firearms. You know, I've been talking about Head Down for a while.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you that everyone will know about Head Down in the coming months, not just me, but I give you my word, everyone will know about Head Down pretty darn soon if you don't already. I'll have a video that I'll probably drip. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow before the show, but I did get my hands on the Head Down custom Glock and did a video of that today, so I'll get that one up tomorrow before the live show. So we'll be talking about custom Glocks, Head Down custom rifles, what makes them different, blah, blah, blah. But American-made, Georgia company, great guys, and they'll be on live.
Cool. And the nice thing about Kev's chats is you will get a different point of view than you usually get here in the Dragon, right? Because Kev actually has law enforcement people who are willing to come in and talk to him because he's much more polite than we are. But and no, but I respect and I like their perspective because they're Americans too. You know, whether they're cops and I'm not good with cops, it doesn't matter. They're Americans. I like hearing their perspective, and I'm glad they're willing to come out and talk to you.
Well, and they're also, and again, you're hitting the nail on the head. They're Americans. They're dads like we are. They're sons like we are, and regardless of their perspective, and sometimes we definitely challenge each other perspectives from time to time. You know, with all respect and you know. We don't beat the shit out of each other, but we'll definitely agree to disagree if we have to.
Oh yeah, so go check out Kev's.
Thanks,
hey Sting, you got anything coming up, buddy?
Nothing really fun coming up. Well, maybe next week I might have something back I haven't had in a while. But as far as shout-outs, man, I want to give a shout-out to 10-second Patriot. 10-round Patriot. And, of course, Wasser 10, or Mark Wasser. I don't know what his channel is anymore, but all my friends in Cali, man, good luck.
Yeah, it's scary.
Go ahead, Sting. That's just my kids being noisy getting dinner. Finish it up.
I was pretty much done, man. I was just giving a shout-out to the guys in California, and that I don't really have much news other than the one thing, and I don't really want to share it here right now, but hopefully I'll have something on my channel about that in the coming weeks.
That's cool. And I also want to shout out WM Warrior and Wild Iron Horseman. You know, you guys you got to really rethink the California thing. What's up, Mutt? How you doing? We're about closing the doors, though. So cool. I'll tell him, Kev.
Right on.
Thanks.
We'll get that all square.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk to you during the daytime, not on a live chat like you got caught in this time.
No worries.
So anyway, we're shutting her down for the night. Mutt, you want a quick shout out? P&G still muted?
Oh, heck, I appreciate y'all having me for the short, brief moment I've been here, and that's just the way it is.
All right. And I also want to say, hey, Kansas, glad to see you're doing better. And, you know, hopefully he's going to get his computer issues fixed so he can do his, you know, DT hour back.
Shout out, Kansas.
Big shout out to the Kansas and everybody else who joins us here. For the 21 viewers that are still in, keep an eye out. There's a ton of chats out tonight. I know Never Enough Ammo has a chat tonight, I'm pretty sure. So have fun, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. I'm doing mine tomorrow night at 9 p.m., and I'm sure all the shit we talked about today is going to be part of the agenda tomorrow night as well. So we'll talk to you guys after the Tack Daddy, Kevin, Tack Daddy, after his chat. Come over and see us. Have a good night.